Welcome to Beyond the Chutes, the rodeo podcast that dives deep into the heart of Western culture. I'm your host, Doug Simcox, and here we explore it all. Rodeo's rich histories, the legends and their stories, today's competitors shaping the sport, and the behind-the-scenes heroes who make it happen. From bucking chutes to timed events, from rodeo history to current events, this is your all-access pass to the world of rodeo. Our show is presented by Parasite Systems, who help vet clinics and animal owners experience the power of sight. New in 2025, the all-in-one analyzer featuring fecal site AI, hemosite AI, and flow site AI technology. You can find them at parasitesystems.com. Hey, this is Doug, host of BTC. You know, there's things that I love about doing this podcast. I love the travel and seeing the country. I really enjoy meeting the cowboys and the cowgirls, those that participated in the history of rodeo, and I really enjoy listening to the stories. I find when I listen, I learn. In early May, I traveled to Lewisburg, Ohio, up around Dayton, Ohio, and attended the second annual King Brothers Rodeo reunion. This is the third episode from that reunion. What follows are some great conversations that I had with a bunch of new friends. We hope that you enjoy. We have got a guest on here. Mr. Keith Knoch is going to be joining us. I've been watching him from afar. He's been telling a bunch of stories, so I thought I'd better grab him before he runs out of those stories. Welcome to Beyond the Chutes, Mr. Knoch.
Hey, thank you very much.
Good to see you. What brings you to this rodeo reunion today? What are you looking for?
I was just looking to find some old guys that I haven't seen for a while. Yeah, it's been a long time since we rodeoed and been away from some of these guys, so it was good to see some people.
And second annual, were you here last year?
No, did not get a chance to get here. Was busy doing something else, but yeah, we're glad to be here this year.
What a gorgeous place to have a rodeo reunion. Great food, great folks, beautiful weather. Take us back to the beginning, Keith. When did you find rodeo? First off, where are you from and when did you find rodeo?
I'm from somewhere around Wapakoneta, Uniopolis, small little town, Ohio. I started rodeo back when I first graduated, 77. The old man had race horses, so we were on race horses all the time, but went to a Wild West show after I graduated and became interested in entering more and bigger stuff.
So do you remember what Wild West show that was?
Yeah, it was Ed Wiley, which he was from just south of Columbus, putting on rodeo. So we went there for a couple of different years, then went to some bull ridings, things of that sort. And that was back in probably 77.
All right, so 77. So you came up with racehorses. Your dad, were they thoroughbreds? What were you doing?
Racing quarter horses. He was a state steward for quarter horse racing, so he traveled around. He had 6, 7, 8 horses that he trained all the time. So, yeah, we were in the horse business for all the time I grew up.
So why rodeo? I mean, you went to this show and you said, "I want to do that."
Well, I was an athlete, so I played football in high school. I kind of missed it when I was gone, but when I went to first couple rodeos. There was some athletic ability there, so I was pretty excited about it. So yeah, I was really made me interested in looking at it more. Put it that way.
And what events were you working, Keith?
I just rode bulls. That's all I did.
And why bulls?
I have no idea. It's the guy most dangerous, hardest to do, things of that sort. Who knows?
So did you have buddies that you were rodeoing with? I mean, that kind of came when you started, or did you meet folks through it?
I just met people through there because everybody else at home basically stayed at home, wasn't interested in doing the traveling and stuff that we did rodeoing.
Were you in a crew? Were you in a truck?
Yeah, when I first got started, matter of fact, I called Jack Eberts, which he was the guy that went to finals half a dozen times. He lived about 60 miles from me and said, I'm interested in going to rodeos. Got in with him and probably was in there 4 or 5 years.
Wow. How many guys in the truck typically?
Yeah, we had 6, 8 guys in there. Yeah.
And one guy did all the entry, and you knew where you were going to be, and you just put your money in the pot, and away you go?
Yeah, the biggest problem is after a couple years that the guy that took care of everybody was me.
Oh, so you were the logistic guy. You were the guy that figured out. So you called the secretaries and got the crew entered up.
Yeah.
What was it? Just bull riders that was in the truck?
No, matter of fact, we had a couple bareback riders, a couple guys. The rest of us all bull riders, but we had 1 or 2 bareback riders with us.
But no timies.
No.
Because
they were just too hard to get along with.
timies are hard to get on with? I figure it's because rough stock riders like to haul together, I reckon.
No, we got along with those other guys. We just kept rough stock riders together.
And what associations were you riding, Keith, back in the late 70s?
We went a little bit everywhere. Went to mid-state rodeos, ARA rodeos on the East Coast, SRA rodeos. Went to Florida rodeos down in Morgan's country, and we did that all the time. Then IRA rodeos, and also went to some of the rodeos in Canada. Ontario Rodeo Association. We went up there for 3, 4, 5 years in a row.
And on the East Coast, so you got up in the Northeast, New York, Pennsylvania, that sort of thing?
Yes.
So did you ever ride Longhorn Rodeo?
Sure.
Where and when and what do you remember?
What do I remember? Hey, listen, when I first started rodeoing, we went to all the Longhorn rodeos, from, some Cincinnati to, Florida to everywhere inside Pontiac. All of them were all Longhorn rodeos, inside rodeos, and in January, February, November was all the inside rodeos Longhorn put on. So yeah, we went to all of them.
And traveling stories, what do you got?
Man, I ain't really got a lot of stories, So the. Good. Okay. It's good to see you. Good. Okay. Not all about you. It is all about me.
So no stories?
Not a whole lot of stories. We just
didn't get in trouble anywhere. Didn't do things you weren't supposed to do.
No, those you can't. Those ain't stories.
What are they?
There's stuff you ain't supposed to retell.
None of them?
Yeah, no.
So how many years did you rodeo?
So I started about 15 years.
About 15 years.
I went to international finals about 6 years. Went in 81 and went the next 5, 6 years in a row. And then, and really went to, I think we went to them Florida finals 6, 7 years. Went to the NARC finals, I don't know if you're familiar with it. Went it 5, 6 years in a row. So and Swearingers, Mike and Sammy, we'd seen them out there, which, and then went to the PRCA, a couple of the regional things with them. So yeah, we went a lot of different places.
The best year, what was it?
The best year, I tell you what, I really met my wife in '83, and I rode better than I remember even telling her. She went with us 4 or 5 weeks in a row and said, listen, I'm not really this good. I don't know if you just bring me the luck or whatever. But that was probably '83, '84. I rode some bad cats and was rodeoing. So, that's probably one of my hottest years, '83, '84, in that time frame.
So at that point, you're riding, is it Tulsa, the IFR?
Yeah, I went to Tulsa. I really never did very well whatsoever at the finals. I mean, I rode some buckers and rode a lot of stuff during the year, but the finals, I don't know if it was a head game because I made it to the final. Matter of fact, the first year I made it in the finals, I think I out-traveled people. I'm not sure I was supposed to be there. I think I went to 140 rodeos that year, so and wound up in 15th, 16th place to go to the finals. So I thought I really out-traveled guys to get there. So I really was never very successful at Tulsa. Tulsa was not good to me.
So when you say a head game or whatever, what's that mean?
Yeah, as a rule, that was never a problem, but at Tulsa it really was. I thought, I got on some bulls that I even knew, and had trouble with compared to, at regular rodeo wasn't a big deal, but at the finals it was. It was for me, put it that way.
Injuries?
Not really. I stayed pretty injury-free. I had a head concussion one time, had some bleeding in the brain that I wore a helmet for 5-6 months, and that made it even worse. And I finally just threw it out the window going down the interstate after I fell off of a good one, just because it made me think that, hey, I was injured and this or that. So it wasn't near as aggressive. But it took a couple months after I threw the helmet away that I got back to riding like I could, so, yeah.
And that's interesting, riding with helmets before helmets were popular. Today, if you're going to ride bulls, you're going to ride with a helmet.
Yeah, we weren't all about that. And I guess it would be hard to go back and not do the things with the helmet and the vest that they do, so, yeah.
And what kind of helmet was it?
Yeah, it was like a hockey helmet that really I put a hat on, cowboy hat on, is really what it was, but yeah, I just had trouble. I really did. I mean, I probably rode 3-4 weeks, 5 weeks maybe with the helmet. But yeah, just brought back that, hey, that you had a problem, this or that. So you wasn't near as aggressive as what I was previously. So it came back a couple weeks after I threw the helmet away. So.
Did it mess with your balance?
No, not really. Yeah, it was just a head game. Just thinking, hey, there was a problem. You're not near as aggressive as what it was before. So.
And how big was the rig you were running? How many guys in the truck?
We had 6-8 guys consistently going. Yeah, so.
And any stories from any of that?
Well, the thing is there was 3. So when we really started running hard, I think it was me and Ronnie Allen and David Gaither, and there was 5 or 6 other guys that got in the truck. So we started running very hard. We was all trying to go to the finals, IFR, and really I think me and David and Ronnie Allen all made it the same year. One of the ones that didn't make it was Chris Nuzzo, which he was a guy from Chicago, a bareback rider. And really, he had a bucking horse at Madison Square Garden. He could have won the rodeo on, and threw him out the back door at 7 seconds to win it. So I mean, back then I could have cried because that was his ticket to get to the finals, and he didn't make it. So, we were all so close together, and when Chris didn't make it, so that was very heartbreaking.
Tell me about riding at Madison Square Garden.
I didn't really draw very good there. Not sure exactly what I had, but Ronnie Allen was a great friend of mine that, he won 2nd or 3rd there, so that really opened his door to go to the finals that year. Yeah.
Big crowds? What was that venue like?
It was big crowds there. A bunch of them indoor buildings were just as well, attended by other people and stuff. It was pretty exciting.
And if there was one rodeo that you said you had to go to every year, what was it?
Really San Antonio. Was it San Antonio where they got the river walk and stuff? I mean, the pro guys were just there or whatever, but the same thing. Yeah, that is the perfect city. You got the stadium right there, and you got the river walk. Yeah, that is a great time. We went there. We flew in from from the NARC finals in Denver, okay, I knew I had a great bull at San Antonio. I had 30 of Longhorns, rode him before, turned back into my hand. I'm going to place. Not going to win it, but I'm going to win third, fourth, fifth, somewhere in there, okay? I get there, they cripple him. Well, then I get Hillbilly, which is a bucker, okay? I had broke my finger in Florida at a bar incident, and so I'm trying to hold on to my horn, hold on to my rope. We got 2 or 3 guys that are trying to pull the rope. Yeah, when they twist it in there, finally, everybody's hats are in there. 2 guys pull on my rope. I pound my hand. I got a cast on my hand, my free hand. Nod my head. I ride him. We just come from Denver. I'm the only guy that, we have checks, but other than that, we don't have no cash. 85 bull riders. I win the rodeo, the last guy out, I'm thinking, yeah. Me and 8 guys were the happiest people in San Antonio.
My goodness. And when we think of Longhorn Rodeo, we don't think of them going to Texas, but yet Bruce and crew was there.
Yes, they were in San Antonio. They were at Fort Worth. A lot of times it's way out of where they were previously, which was great rodeos, really was.
And one other thing on that story, a bar incident.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was a bar incident.
You said broke your finger in a bar incident.
Oh, that was in Florida. Oh. Yeah, well, so there was a bucking machine there. Okay, so then, we were there. Ladies' night, Wednesday night. Ladies' drinks were free. Always had a bucking machine contest, so we would pick one of the guys to go in there. So the thing was my turn, so it was thank God I always put my free arm in the rigging. It was a steel rigging. The guy had a machine. He was proud as hell of it, so he would not shut it off till he threw you off, So the thing was, I was the second guy on, got on, Well, the thing is it was a steel rigging, so my hand shucked in the rigging when he bucked and broke my index finger, okay? Well, when he did that, the guy was turning it back, and he would never shut it off. He had to jump off or do whatever. So I took my white hat, which I cleaned with baby powder, and got the fan and the bucking machine with it. So it was looking like it was smoking. The guy thought I blew up his machine, so he shut it off,
So why your free hand instead of your normal riding hand?
Just smart, probably, because that's what happened. I injured my hand, and we went to the hospital, and they did put a cast on it or whatever. And so it was, thank God, because we were going to the NARC finals the next day. We were flying out to it, and then to San Antonio, a couple other rodeos.
So was there money involved? Was you hustling somebody by putting a pro bull rider on a bucking machine in Florida?
Not exactly. We're not that smart. You know what I mean?
But you headed to the NARC finals. How many years you go to NARC finals?
We probably went 7 years. 7, maybe 8 years, yeah.
And for our listeners, that was the deal. And all the various association would send their best, basically. And there'd be how many bull riders show up for the NARC finals?
Probably 75 or 80. Yeah, and they were good. They were great rodeos. They really was. They brought bulls in from, a bunch of different places, and we went from Denver to El Paso to somewhere in New Mexico. I mean, the first one was New Mexico we went to, which, some great rodeos.
So you were out and going hard.
Sure.
Was it full time? Was it a full time living?
No. I always had I own a construction business at home. We manufacture steel siding on the job site, so I had stuff going on at home also.
Okay. But allowed you to get away.
A brother.
Okay. And did you worry about injuries? I mean, you're making a living with a construction company. Did you worry about injury and that sort of thing?
Well, yes. Well, you did. Of course, I always thought you rode better when you were hurt. even if you're certain you was taping up or whatever. I thought you always rode better, But I was very fortunate. I broke a leg here or there, a knee one time. Other than that, I really didn't get injured a whole lot.
And of the bulls of that day, I know you had that great ride in San Antonio. You talked about Longhorn Rodeo. If there's one bull that you could draw at any given rodeo, what was that one bull?
No, there was just a lot of bulls. There was a lot of bulls. Put it this way, I really thought, and maybe I was fooling myself or what. I really thought there was no way that there was a bull that could turn back into my hand that would throw me off. So anything that turned back into the left, hey, I was very happy to get on. I mean, that's the one that I wanted,
And what are you seeing are you following rodeo today?
No.
Not at all? I mean, PBR, nothing?
No, I hate to watch them. I just see, guys that get off early or whatever the whole deal is. I hate to watch them. So I'm not a fan whatsoever.
So once you quit rodeo, you're construction full time, no more rodeo. You just shut her off.
Yeah. I really don't follow rodeo whatsoever. And no.
But here, hanging out, hearing stories.
Oh, no, I'd love to see guys that I seen before, or old-time guys that, used to rodeo, things of that. So it's great to be here.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being on the show, Keith.
Hey, thank you very much for what you do. I mean, I really respect for what you do when you're here and all the money that you're not making compared. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
We're having fun.
That's good. Yeah, we are too.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Keith. All right. We have got sitting with us here today, beautiful day here in Lewisburg, Ohio. Beyond the Chutes is on the road again. BTC, the wheels are turning. I've got a fifth-generation cowboy with the King Brothers Rodeo. And I'm going to let him step us through those 5 generations. Mr. Coy Smith, welcome to BTC.
Hey, how are you doing today? So basically, as a fifth-generation cowboy, it's a lot of people think it as a lot of pressure or a lot of things to talk about, but honestly, it's just an honor to be a part of something like that. It's an honor to be consideration of being a fifth generation. There's a lot of things that come into play with it, and to break that down is there's a lot of people above me that have done a lot of great things. There's a lot of people that above me that there's big boots to fill. But to sit and think about it, for instance, my grandpa, Steve Link, I look up to that man more than anything in the world. Would I ever fill those shoes? That's a big, tough question to ask. But I don't consider myself to fill those shoes. I consider myself to fill the own shoes that I have. And to be a part of something that's been around for more than 100 years, it's phenomenal. It's life-changing to talk about. It's life-changing to even be a part of. And when you go and you talk and, people ask your name, they may not know who you are, and you get to say that you're that fifth generation of King Brothers Rodeo. It's an honor more than anything. And it makes you happy. It may make you tear up a little bit, but it makes you happy at the end of the day because of something that's so historic. Our world's gotten to where it's about this and about that, but deep down, when you go to a rodeo and you're a part of that, it's family that's not family, and it's created, and that thing it's stronger than anything that the world has to offer.
Yeah, and so much needed in today's world, as you said. What are your earliest memories? Fifth generation, always been rodeo. There's always been rodeo in your family. What are your earliest memories?
I would have to say my earliest one, I was in Pennsylvania, and I was with Tommy King, and he did the clown act with King Brothers Rodeo, and we had the buck and forward, and I got to dress up as Little Willie, and we went out, and I was real nervous, and to be honest, I was kind of scared, to be honest. I was real young, and to go out and to do that act in front of such a big crowd, such a rainy day and stuff like that, it was a pleasure to do it. It was really fun, and I didn't really know where I wanted to be and where I wanted to be involved so young, but I knew that was my start and that was my end. And it was it was a good time. I had somebody like Tommy that's been around such great cowboys and everything like that, and he steered me in just such the right direction.
And it's cool to have a family with the built-in mentorship like you're talking. Did the entertainment bug hit you at that point? You're out, you're in front of crowds, you're dressed up, you're playing a role. Did you want to go that direction?
I wanted to be in that direction at first because it was fun, and I wanted to be, I was in front of a bunch of people laughing and joking and creating the laughs for people, and that's where I wanted to be at first. And then as I grew older, I realized that, I wanted to create my own. I didn't want to have an act. I didn't want to have a set role on what to do. I wanted my hard work and my determination to determine my outcome of everything.
And at that point, you said, my future this is where I want to go. What was it?
At that point in time, I realized that I wanted to follow in my dad's footsteps, and I wanted to ride bulls. And so that's the direction I took. And the one and only person I knew to get a hold of to create that to happen was Glenn Campbell. And I got a hold of Glenn, and Glenn told me that if that's what you want to do, that's what we're going to do. And if we're going to do it, we're going to do it 100%. And so that's where we went. And Glenn was behind my back every step of the way. And I cannot sit here and not give credit to my mom, Sarah. She followed me. She did whatever I wanted to do. And it was twice a week, every weekend, bull riding after bull riding after bull riding. And that's where I wanted to go. And those were the steps that I took. And to be that bull rider is a lot harder than what people think and to do. And I can't sit here and not give credit to Glenn, to my mom, and to Steve Link as well.
And how old were you when you decided I'm going to ride bulls?
I actually started at a very later age than I wanted to be. I was actually 21. I started riding when I was little, and I didn't think that that's somewhere I wanted to be. I was like, I'm going to do my own thing. And then after going more and more into being in rodeo, I was like, this is where I wanted to be. I played baseball for a very long time. And then I was like, you know what, that's not where I want to be. It's not as true as being involved in a rodeo family. And I think that's what it's all about for me, is being involved in the family portion of it and being around who's involved in everything. And it boils down for me, in a personal opinion, it boils down to if you need something, you're short of something, or you don't have, or something like that. And that's what a lot of people are, my age being 24, is they don't understand, is that in a cowboy world, in a cowgirl world as well, is that they're going to step up for you and they're going to do what's right.
Yeah, and in today's world, we hear a lot, maybe in the older days, more about the cowboy way. And I got to believe you were brought up in the cowboy way. How do you describe the cowboy way?
Describing the cowboy way, for me, the first thought that comes to my head is who I call Papaw. And behind the scenes of my head for Papaw is Steve Link. My hero, the guy that everybody knows. If I know anybody that knows anything about rodeo and I want to strike a conversation, all I got to do is throw that name out there, Steve Link. And being brought up in that way has raised me a lot different than people that I've grown up around. And what I mean by that, to break that down, is that life's a lot more simple than people believe. And to go more on that aspect is, you need something, we'll help you. You don't know what you're doing, we'll teach you. And being on the road is hard. A lot of those guys know that. I know that for personal experience. But saying that, it makes it easy when you're around that cowboy lifestyle, that cowboy life that they say. And there's a lot of judgment out there on that cowboy life and that cowboy way. And a lot of that judgment as far as goes as, oh, well, you guys, do a lot of bad things, or you guys do a lot of this. And it's not that way. Some people see a certain thing, they hear about certain things, and that's not really how it is. Now, we may be a little on the wild side, and that's okay, but that's just part of the journey that you partake. And the greatest experience for me is a lot of the country that I've got to see, a lot of the things that I've got to do, a lot of the things that I've got to hear and experience and stuff like that. And riding bulls, it's been a tough path. I'll admit that 100%. But the fun for me doesn't come from winning a bull riding. The fun for me doesn't come from being in the performance or being up against the crowd. The fun for me is what happens in the back, and that's what a lot of people don't get to see. A lot of people don't get to see what happens behind the pins and behind the scenes and everything like that. For me, the best time that I've ever had is setting up a rodeo arena. The guys come together, we work great, we do the things that we're supposed to do, and it's a lot of fun. Those are memories that you'll never be able to forget. Those are memories that you'll never be able to explain to somebody because they'll never understand.
So you're not only riding bulls still, you are also part of the production crew that puts on the King Brothers Rodeos. What's the season look like, and give us a little bit of the life. I mean, you're responsible for getting on a bull, and you're responsible for making sure that everything happens.
At first, when it first started, I was young, I was like, this is going to be a lot. This is going to be too much to handle. I'm going to be tired, this and that. But that's the cowboy life. We run on no sleep, and we run on performing for the crowd that's in front of us. And as far as setting up for somebody, it's hard. I'm not going to diminish that by any means. But the enjoyment of finishing and accomplishing, and we've reintroduced something this past summer for our rodeo company to make it just maybe a little more entertaining for the crowd. We've always been a good performance company, and we've always put on good shows. We've always had good stock, but we've recently introduced bringing in a startup entrance for our company, and that startup entrance would be is we come out, we introduce our bull riders and our barrel racers and our bareback riders. We come out to music, we come out to fireworks, and it's an appetizer for the crowd. It gets them pumped up. It gets them to show that, hey, we're here, we're ready, we're going to put you on a show that you're not going to forget. And that's, to me, that's my main goal when we leave a county, leave a state, is, hey, King Brothers Rodeo, they did a good job. They put on a show, and they left us with, hey, we want to be back next year. And that money that you pay to get in, we don't want you to feel that it went to waste, because it didn't. It by far didn't go to waste. We put a lot of effort into raising these animals for you. We put a lot of effort into showing you that we are going to put on a good show, and we are going to show your county and your fair that we're here to come and we're here to stay, and we want to have you guys to have a good time.
You bet. What's the biggest challenges you would say that you face? I mean, you're a bull rider and you're responsible for the production, as I said.
I think for me personally, the biggest challenge that I've faced is that I've lived in my dad's shadow for a long time of riding bulls. My dad was Kevin Smith. He won the Mid-States Finals in 1999, and I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to win that. I've always wanted to just maybe check that off my checklist mark. And I had a talk with Steve Link not too long ago, and he told me, and personally, that was his milestone. You have to create your own. And so for me, my biggest is I take 8 seconds at a time. And those 8 seconds, you're not always going to do good. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. And as far as production goes, our guys are unmatched. I'll say that. I'll take it to the grave. Our guys, when we work together, it's done. Sometimes we might be late. It might be rough. But it's beyond anything like that. And I will have to say, while I'm talking, is that I have to give credit to somebody that taught me a lot. Kobe King and Tommy King, they have more knowledge than anybody in the world when it comes to setting up a rodeo arena. And to be young and to watch is rough, because you want to do it, but sometimes you can't. And as I've gotten older, I've been able to do those things and do those opportunities and tasks that you're asked to do. And somebody that's kind of taken me under their wing that doesn't really, I think, in my opinion, get enough credit is Brian Brock. He's been there, never lied to me, and has taught me to do what you're supposed to do. And he's always been that stronger, bigger guy, that hero that you kind of look up to and stuff like that. And it's been fun to kind of be like, well, if you can do it, I can do it.
Okay. So you got a great bunch of guys. Who is your crew this year? Name them.
Our crew this year is going to be me, so Coy Smith, and then we're going to have Kobe King, Tommy King, Brian Brock, Xavier Adams, and there's a lot more that goes into it. Obviously we've got Stevie King. He's the owner-operator. We've got Chad King. We've got my mom, Sarah Link. She does as far as, announcing stuff like that. We've got Tara King. But as far as that setup crew, we may be small, but it goes into it, and we get the job done when the time's supposed to be done.
Sounds like teamwork to me.
Yes, sir, it does. And that's the thing. A lot of people look in it, and they're like, well, you don't have as many people as you probably should. But those people that we do have, they're going to get the job done, and they're going to know when to get that job done.
So what's 2025 looking like for you, Coy?
2025 for us is going to be busy. We have a lot of back-to-backs. We may not have as many rodeos as we want, but we know that the rodeos that we're going to put on, they're going to be a great performance, and the fairgrounds are always very appreciative from what we do. There's always the critics about everything that you do as far as, animals and everything like that. But there's never been a time that we've left a fairgrounds and nobody's been appreciative for the thanks that we've put on and for the performance that we've put on. To date back for 3-4 generations, my grandpa King, for him, as a bull rider standpoint, if you're in the chutes longer than 5 seconds, you're taking too long, and that gate's popped and you're going, and somebody as big caliber as Stevie King, he's got a lot of pressure on him to carry that family legacy and to carry that family name and to do what he's supposed to do, and he does his job well. And I give him props for that as far as setting everything up and doing what he's supposed to do and delegating. And that's a big part of leadership, is to delegate and what you're supposed to do. And growing up and being older and finally seeing that, Kobe King has stepped up in tremendous ways. More than he probably may have wanted or than he probably should. But the man has got more knowledge than anybody I know. And somebody that sets up PBR arenas for a living and comes back to our family rodeo on time and to do what he's supposed to do, he's a great man to learn from. And as somebody quite younger than him, I give props to everything for him as far as when it comes to set up something, and when it's time to be done, it's done.
So what's the future look like? Talk to me about 10 years out. What are you thinking? What are you seeing changing? How do you stay vital? How do you stay relevant? How do you continue to promote the sport of rodeo?
Next 10 years from now, there's some of the guys in all respect are getting a little older, and I'm growing up and I'm learning it more and everything like that. And the next 10 years from now, I would like to think that potentially we could double what we do now. It's a big ask, but the crew that we have together, I think it could be done. There's been talk about who's to come next, who's to do what, and this and that. To stay vital and to stay relevant, technology's grown. It's beyond huge. You've got Facebook and TikTok and all these other big platforms. Are we going to have to be on them? Yeah, we're going to have to be, because flyers and paper just don't cut it anymore, unfortunately. But to grow and to be more in that as somebody that's younger, from a younger crowd, I think that if we promote more and we put our name more out there, to me, I may be a little biased because I'm related, but for the longest lasting rodeo that's still going in this world is beyond phenomenal. And for people to hear that, they're curious, it draws attention, and more fair boards are going to want that to promote their fair boards for them. We give them an opportunity to talk about something that some other companies don't give them an opportunity to talk about, and I think that's great. If I'm in a conversation and I get to bring it up, I bring it up more than I probably should, and a little biased, but also honestly just a little proud. And being proud of that, I have no problem with being proud of at all. None. Being fifth generation, sometimes it gets a little under your skin and you get a little nervous and you think you got to upfill and everything, but it makes you happy at the end of the day. Whether you fail or succeed, no matter at the end of the day, you have something to be happy about.
So 10th generation, I'm going to take you way forward. What do you want 10th generation to be talking about on King Brothers Rodeo?
That's a big question. 10th generation, I would like to believe 10th generation would have my kids, my grandkids in that involved. That goes back to the boots to fill. My grandpa, Steve Link, those boots are impossible to fill. I'll say that. I thought maybe at one point in time in my life I could, beyond impossible to fill. I grew into bull riding just like my dad. Impossible boots to fill. I hope that one day when I have kids, and maybe they're going to have kids and I have grandkids, I hope they have that same thought that I have, that those are impossible shoes to fill, because for me, that's just determination to keep working harder and to keep doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing. And it upsets me just a little bit, because as far as we go in my generation, the more and more we grow and the more that we get older, people steer from rodeo. And it kind of breaks my heart to think about that, because steering from rodeo is biased again, is wrong in my opinion. Now I know people do their own thing and people choose to do what they do, but rodeo's different. And once you get involved, you may stay, you may not stay. But I can tell you right now, the group of people that I'm surrounded by today, and the group of people that I've been surrounded by in my life, those are some of the greatest people you could ever count on. Those are some of the greatest people that you'll ever come across. And the stories they have to tell, those are stories you want to hear. Whether you want to laugh or you want to cry or you just want to remember forever, those are stories that are going to stick with you. I could tell you baseball stories. I could tell you high school stories. You'll forget them in a couple weeks. Those rodeo stories, you'll remember them forever.
I love it. 4 generations, 5 generations already, dude. The legacy is known. It's out there, as you said. So much to carry forward. And it sounds like you got it well in hand. I just have to say that.
I would like to think so. It's been brought up in conversation between my mom and I about where I play a role in the next couple years and where things are going to go and how we're going to do things. And to be honest with you, it's a little scary. I've ventured on the path of doing my own thing. I've ventured on the path of staying in, and when it comes down to it, as a true family man, there's no reason that you shouldn't stay in a part of something that's so great. Roy King, the start of where it all started, to think that I could someday be in that talk of where I was with Roy or where I am with Stevie or Kobe, it's great. I don't take it as a fame thing. I don't take it as a I want you to talk about me thing. I take it as a when my kids and their grandkids and their kids grow old, that they can talk about that type of thing, because it is a generational thing. It is a great thing to talk about. And in the world that we live in now, I think that that's a more respectful and more greater thing to talk about and to be a part of. And for people my age and even people younger than me, they sometimes might get annoyed with it, or they may not want to talk about it, but I'm curious, I'm interested, and I want to hear about it, because you don't hear about that stuff very often. It's okay to be different, and being that different is what makes it so exciting.
I love it. Sounds like King Brothers Rodeo's in pretty good hands, my friend. Thanks for being on the show today.
Absolutely. And before we go, I would just like to give a shout out. I'd like to give a shout out to Steve Link, Glenn Campbell, Kevin Smith, and Sarah Link.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coy.
Thank you.
Okay. So, sitting here on a beautiful day. It is Saturday, May 10th. Is tomorrow Mother's Day, by the way? Tomorrow is Mother's Day. My goodness. But we're sitting here at the 2nd annual King Brothers Rodeo reunion, and I'm sitting here with Mr. Adam Tinch. How are you doing today, Adam?
Oh, I'm doing fine, sir, fine.
And enjoying the weather and the food and the conversations.
Oh, I'm enjoying the people more than anything. They're a bunch of good folks here.
Yeah. How long you been associated with King Brothers here?
I started on them in the bicentennial, 1976. I showed up as a hand on their rodeo crew with the IXL, yeah.
In 1976. And what were you doing in 1976 where you said, I want to be a rodeo hand?
Yeah, I always wanted to be a cowboy, and I got on a little bit of stock, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 head before I hooked up with the King Brothers, and I wanted to ride bulls and bucking horses, and I figured there wasn't no better place. I'd seen the rodeos a few times at the Big Box 21 in Dayton and that, and saw a bunch of these guys I'm talking to riding, and I never did get in a high school deal, but At about 18, I cracked out and went after it.
And good place to start?
Yeah, it was a good place to start. It really was. They take care of you best they could. I mean, you didn't make any mistakes without paying for them, but that's fine. I owed them.
Lots of miles.
A lot of miles. That's what I'm saying about all my buddies around here. They look a little older, but it ain't the years, it's the miles. I've been a lot of miles with all of them.
And if you was on the crew, you packed iron, you packed steel.
Yeah, I did. The first 2 years, instead of arena panels, we rolled out wove wire and drove stakes and hung them up and all that. It was a lot of work. And then we got the big old heavy panels. I thought that I'd found the easy life then. I was pretty green back then. I didn't know a lot, but I was a hard worker. Learned a lot about cowboying off all these people.
And always have worked with the King Brothers, always been part of the organization?
Off and on for about 8 or 10 years, maybe. A little bit there. I went rodeoing and didn't work for a year or two. I got kind of hungry, and I did a little custom harvesting and ranch work out in Nebraska and that. Rode some bucking horses out there a little bit.
What do you mean custom farming? Custom
harvesting. We harvested wheat from down there in Texas all the way to the Canadian border. I forgot what town we was out of down there, but we was out of the panhandle of Texas, and I was with them for about a year, and it was a good deal for me.
And how did rodeo life with the King Brothers set you up for custom harvesting?
Learned how to drive truck. Learned quick.
Lots of miles, lots of hours again.
Yeah, there was a lot of hours. I put a lot of miles behind Stevie and Steve Lincoln them, and had a good time. And then there's always the pickup trucks with the cowboy crews. They was a good time.
So talk a little bit about that. Who was in the crew? How big of a crew was you running? And how long did you run with them, Adam?
Well, me and my partner around here, Myron Wilson, we run together for a long time. He lived down the road from me. And then a lot of them are gone now. Jack Eberts and Alan Etherton and a lot of them guys. I miss them. They're gone, but we all had big laughs going up down the road. A lot of them made money. I was a 50%er. I'd ride maybe 50% of the time. It didn't come natural, but I tried hard and I did make it.
And made a little money, enough to go down the road?
Well, yeah, enough to go down the road, but that's about it. I was not one of the. I didn't have money to rodeo all the time, but most of the time, yeah.
Well, they say you don't probably get rich in rodeo. Is that true?
That is very true. You better find another little something to do unless you're really, really good. There's really good naturals out there, and they make a lot of money. I really like watching them, but I kind of wish I'd have went at it different.
What does that mean? Went at it a little bit different?
Well, he could have gone to a school or something and got the basics down. I got the basics, just Wild West shows and these jackpot rodeos and stuff. I just climbed on. I'd rode a bunch of horses before, but nothing like a bucking horse. I just started climbing on and trying my best. Sometimes I'd make a world-winning ride. Sometimes I'd eat dirt. It was about a toss-up.
And what are you making of today's cowboys? What are you seeing? You're watching them on TV, Cowboy Channel, PBR, whatever. What are you seeing of these athletes today?
Well, the livestock they got out there are bucking machines. They're all freaks, man. There ain't a weak one in the bunch that I've seen. And the Cowboys are a lot different. I guess I couldn't compare myself to none of the champs, but I was kind of a J.B. Mooney kind of guy.
Meaning?
Yeah. Well, meaning that, first jump will loosen you up kind of thing. I don't know. I was there. I liked the lights and the crowds, and I did like riding bucking horses and that. But I didn't really train much. I had an old spur and board I worked on some, but other than that, that was about it.
And there wasn't a lot of rodeo schools around at that time. They weren't available, were they?
Well, I wanted to be a bull rider when I was like 16, and I wanted to go to Jim Shoulder's school. There wasn't a whole lot of schools. But I was signed up to go there, and I needed permission from my parents, and they didn't think too much of the cowboy thing, so I never made it to gym school.
So you weren't brought up in a rodeo cowboy family?
Not necessarily. My dad, we always had a horse or two around for us kids to ride, and he'd get a couple ponies, and we'd kind of break them around a little bit, and he'd sell them. But other than that, no, I wasn't much of a rodeo cowboy. I always watched Stony Burke and all that, and that just kind of appealed to me. I don't know what it was, something in my head said I go be a cowboy, and so I did.
And are you still involved in any way with rodeo? Did you do anything after you quit riding?
No, not much. I was ranching in Nebraska, and then my dad opened up a little mailing deal in Monroe, Ohio. He worked for Scholastic Magazines, and he needed a mechanic, so things weren't going real smooth in Nebraska at the time, so I come back and I started industrial maintenance and building maintenance and such, and got me a regular job, I guess.
And where in Nebraska were you?
I was in Champion, Nebraska, working for the Bar CO, CO Fraser Ranch. We run about, over 1,000 head of cattle, feedlots, pastured them. I had a string of about 4 horses to ride. One of them had my number pretty good, but that turned me into a ranch cowboy out there. I learned how to rope real good out there.
Learned how to be a cowboy, and you said you always wanted to be a cowboy. Is that Sand Hills, Nebraska?
No, south of the Sand Hills. It was down around Ogallala, down that way.
Okay. So you got to be a cowboy, so you come back east, settle in Ohio. Where do you live in now?
I live where I grew up, in Germantown, Ohio is where I live. I lived there till, like I said, I was about 18. Then I took off rodeoing with these guys, and I knew I was going to mess up. Didn't want to do it around my family, so what better place than a bunch of cowboys to act up?
That's right. And do it all again?
I wouldn't change a thing. I might have went to a bucking school somewhere, riding school, but I wouldn't change nothing. I had a ball. I got more aftermarket parts than a 68 Chevy, but I don't care. I had a good time. I wouldn't change nothing.
So what are some of the aftermarket parts you got now, Adam?
Oh, boy. Staples in my left wrist. My left shoulder's kind of tied up. 2 knee replacements, an ankle replacement. My right hand's kind of fused up from nature. 2 gold teeth, and that's about it.
Any of it as a direct result of rodeo, or it all is?
I'd say 80%.
And again, do it all again?
It didn't hurt back then.
Oh, what do you think of today? What's your wrap up of this event today?
It was a great event. It'd be nice if there was arena dust kicking up somewhere, but I guess that's behind everybody here just about. Most of them anyway. But yeah, it's a real good event. I love seeing all the people. I love talking to the people and everything. I just like being around.
Good to see you. Good to meet you, Adam.
It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you for sharing my time with you.
All right. Thank you. We hoped you enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Chutes. If you did, please share us with your friends. Like us, follow us, subscribe, leave us comments. We love hearing from you. Hey, and do visit our Facebook page. We've got all kinds of reels up there. Beyond the Chutes is the name of our Facebook page. And visit our website, beyondthechutes.show. And we'd like to give a great big shout out to our sponsor, Parasite Systems. They help the BTC bus on the road. They help us keep the wheels turning. And I have said in the past, I listen to podcasts, and I've got a brand new one that I want to pass on to you. It's called The Wandering Gypsy RV Life. Had an opportunity to meet the host, Stan Cromlish, when I was in Alabama. So do give a listen. You can find all of his shows. They are on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all the places where you go and listen. And just so you know, he has helped me keep the rig rolling and is doing some updates in 2025 to give us a hand. Now, speaking of podcasts, I've talked about them in the past. I hope you got subscribed to them and you're following them to make sure you pick up their episodes when they come out. It's called Rodeo Roots. Rob and Dan again. And Blue Jeans, what a great job they do. They talk about rodeoing, going down the road. They have such great guests on there. And with the 2025 rodeo season underway, you can count on a lot of stories from the road from this great trio. And I want to say thank you to the Kickback Ranch and Resort down there in Raymer, Alabama, about 20 minutes south of Montgomery. What a great host they were for that rodeo reunion we went to down there. And for your family, take them down. They've got all kinds of great things for you to do with your kids. Beautiful place, wonderful trails, beautiful lakes, and all kinds of good things. So find them at kickbackranch.net. Give Miss Mindy and the staff a call. They will get you set up. And I'd also like to say thank you to the IRA Facebook group page, Mr. Tim Sparks and Marlon Harris, keeping the IPRA rodeo heritage alive. And BTC is on the road again in 2025. We are scheduled to be at the 11th annual Mountain Cove Rodeo Reunion in Walnut Grove, Georgia, over Labor Day weekend. Marlon and Claire Harris, what a great job they do putting on that reunion. So many great friends come in. We were there last year, and we're planning on going back to this 11th annual. And we're also headed up to the Western Festival de Saint-Tite in Saint-Tite, Quebec, over the 10-day run, September 5th through the 14th. We're going to be up there. And we want to say thank you to our listeners for taking us along with you on your long overnight runs as your long rodeo travels are taking place this time of the year as this 2025 rodeo season gets underway. So until next time, be safe, keep listening. We'll see you down the road. This is Doug Simcox.